And welcome back to Fix the Money. I'm Yael Osaski, co-collaborator here at the Fix the Money Studios, which is very mobile. And I'm very privileged to be speaking with Daniel Winklhammer. He is one of the top heads here at the 21Bitcoin app. Daniel, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
You know, I'm doing excellent. It's great to talk to you. You're a co-founder of the 21Bitcoin app, which if anyone has listened to this program, this podcast, whether it be in Nico's interviews, have heard me pitch before. So we'll get into the specifics of that. But we're releasing this and putting this out on the 13th of September, this beautiful Wednesday, because you guys happen to have a brand new release out on the market. Give us a little preview before people hit that update or download button to let us know what's kind of new in this edition.
Yeah, sure. So we have been working a lot and hard for the past months and building and improving our whole platform. And we are happy to really release the 21 Bitcoin app 2.0. So it's our biggest release yet. And basically we are bringing the mobile Bitcoin experience to a whole nother level in our opinion. So we have implemented highly requested features and combined it with all the proven functionality that we already had in the app, and now have a really more intuitive user experience, and also features that really give you as a user the flexibility to buy and trade and save Bitcoin as you want.
All right, perfect. Well, we'll get into the particulars of it because I'm very excited to mess around with it. Before we do, though, want to give some background to some of the listeners. I know that you've been on Nico's German language program. And by the way, you have the best name for an English speaker who wants to learn how to Winklhammer. So give us a little bit of a background. I know you were a little bit in sort of finance and tech before, but what was your background that kind of gave you this oomph, this lust to create a new kind of Bitcoin-only brokerage?
Yeah, sure. So my background is, like you mentioned, partly financial, partly tech background. So I started in a school in Salzburg, where I'm also based, a tech school which is called HTL in Austria. So it's a higher school form where you learn to program, and you're really educated to be a developer. And basically after that I went to Vienna, to the capital of Austria, to study more like economics and finance. So I studied business and technology there on the Economic University of Vienna. And then started my field journey, I guess. So I started with insurance companies like Allianz Versicherung. So and was like an internal consultant there, helping to develop the core insurance system and bring it to more countries where Allianz is based. And then switched to another consulting role based in Salzburg, where I worked at big banks like the Porsche Bank and also Red Bull, and did there some IT project management and consulting. So that's how I got started in the financial world. But Bitcoin hit me at first in school. So I think it was 2010 or 11 when one of our classmates told us that he's paying his servers for hosting like wikis with Bitcoin. And so that was my first touch point, but I really didn't investigate it further. So I was pretty young there at the time, and I needed some more touch points. And Bitcoin finally got me when it broke $1,000 again in early 2017, I think. And then it really struck me. So I consumed every podcast and every article there was out there. There were not as many as today, but Trace Mayer and also Saifedean and so on had like good material. And from there on, the Bitcoin virus infected me, and Yeah, basically, end of 2019, I came together with my co-founder, who I also met in school. So we know each other for half of our lives, so for 15 years. And we had the idea to make a easy Bitcoin only service where really our friends and family could be onboarded to Bitcoin. Because at that time there were no easy services available. There were only like the big casinos and shitcoin brokerages, and we thought to ourselves, yeah, let's do it, make it easy, and let's start 21 Bitcoin.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah, and I can attest to that. In the early days, at least in Austria, I remember the only place you could really get it, and I'm talking like 2013 or something, was bitcoin.de, sort of like early old school peer-to-peer, just like random IBANs that you're sending stuff to. And you are right, the UX was not intuitive, and you had to do everything through your bank, and it was a bit strange. But, we have a new revolution of these new apps, and, you've been able to put this out onto the market, and you've been able to see a lot of data that perhaps those of us who are Bitcoiners, who are, maybe we're watching charts or we're watching news or we're just, stacking sats and not looking around. You have a lot of data seeing people who are stacking sats, selling it. And I know that one kind of feature that you have is this like hodl mode thing where you have a lot of people who just, buy only, like just gray out the sell button, don't even touch it. But what are the kind of insights that you've gotten just on the app analytics wise, seeing people buying, selling, are people when the price is, let's say, lower coming in like crazy, or when the price goes up, people going in? What does that kind of look like?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So we started in the midst of the bear market early last year, and so we've been only available in the bear market, but we don't experience it like that. So we are growing like crazy. So over the last months, I guess we tripled our revenue and also doubled our volume. And also the user growth is pretty significant for doing virtually no marketing, which I guess speaks for our product. But yes, for the insights, we have a lot of people who are really DCAing, stacking sats regularly. So we see it. People who signed up 1 year ago are still stacking sats to this day and every month. And basically, we don't have cells. So I think I posted a chart last week on Twitter where we showed that we have a buy side percentage of 99% in the last months. So people are really stacking like crazy. And what we also experience is if the price dips, as you said, people are really buying it up. So we have a cool feature. We integrated SEPA Instant into our platform, so you can really fund your account up to 100,000 euros in seconds from your bank account. And people really love it and use it. And once the price dips 5% or so, our volume spikes. So that's really crazy. And
I
also
have to
the
I have to go
average.
back. I have to go to that SEPA instant thing because I think that's something that you just don't have with many platforms, and many Americans just don't understand how awesome and quick this is. Just seeing how fast, you could be watching the chart, something happens, boom, drop it in. And the fact that you're able to integrate that and do so, it means that you, in the background, have been building partnerships. You have the right accounts, you have all this stuff. So you're set up on a side that allows people to be able to accumulate and acquire that Bitcoin like much better. I think that's wonderful. I'd love to see a lot of other platforms do it, or just people be more aware. But it's definitely true. You've kind of tapped into this user base of obviously Europeans, who use SEPA, but it works really quickly and fast, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I also think we are one of the only Bitcoin platforms that have the capability. That's also because we have put really a lot of effort building partnerships with banks and also building strategic partnerships. So we partnered with the German Volksbank, Raiffeisenbank, Bayern Mitte, which they also understand Bitcoin. They are also providing Bitcoin services to their customers. And this really gives us the advantage to really have a strong fiat side. So we also don't experience a lot of problems with transactions coming to 21 Bitcoin. So we heard that from other services that they get blocked, or for example, if you want to send to Binance, your transactions get checked. So we don't have these problems as much. And our customers love it. And I think we have a really unique setup. So we also set up a trustee relationship. So even if you, disclaimer, not your keys, not your coins, but some people want to leave like 1,000 euros in Bitcoin on 21 Bitcoin. And the cool feature with our platform, or the legal setup, how it's set up, is that the coins are ultimately owned by you. So we have a trustee relationship with your coins. So even if in the case, let's say 21 Bitcoin goes down, even in that case, your assets will be separated from our company assets and will belong to you. So.
And that's in the legal structure, the way that you've kind of put together both the company and where you hold those assets, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I think that's pretty important. Many of us, I know a lot of American friends have been getting those emails. They're part of these, big trials now, class action suits, BlockFi, Celsius, not even mentioning FTX. The ability to not actually have access to that is pretty important. And you spoke about not your keys, not your coin. I mean, the withdrawal features that you guys have are pretty automatic. You're able to set that up with, output out address, be able to send it very quickly. I don't think I've ever had an issue with any of the fees, even during like the super high fee market. But overall, it seems as if you're kind of set up to where you have your customer base that might be people who want to leave stuff there, but then others who want to stack it on their hard wallet or whatever it might be.
Yeah, I think there we also have a really unique approach. We want to give our customers the most flexible way to really secure their Bitcoin, not only buy their Bitcoin but also secure it. So we have called a feature auto wallet transfer. You can basically set a limit in the app, and once that limit hits, so for example, you say, I want to store 0.1 Bitcoin on 21 Bitcoin, but if it gets higher than that, automatic withdrawal is triggered to your external wallet if you want it. And also, the withdrawals are pretty fast. So we are paying the network fees for you and only charge you 1,000 sats. Not really charging you over fees if the network fees are really high, and you will get your transfer included in the next block, which is quite fast.
Oh, that's a very good subsidy, eh?
Yeah, people love it and really use it. I think more than 60% of our users really use the app in a non-custodial fashion, and that's also why we have integrated non-custodial mode. We call it non-custodial mode in the app 2.0, which we release next week. And with that, you can enable the non-custodial mode and integrate your hardware wallet, for example, and every purchase will get sent to your wallet instantly.
Can I create also a software wallet there? Will I also be able to generate a seed, or no?
In the 21 Bitcoin app, we don't do that because we think it's more secure if you have your own device, software wallet or hardware wallet. Typically, we recommend that people integrate their hardware wallet and also give like support. We have a great support feature. You can directly reach one of our Bitcoin experts in the app, in the chat, and they help you set up your setup so you can hold your keys for yourself.
Beautiful. Yeah. Then we got multiple uses. Well, we got this kind of new update. There's obviously a lot of building that is happening generally across Bitcoin right now. There's been a lot of improvements in things like Lightning. And I know that I think you guys held one of the Bitcoin meetups in Vienna, I think over the summer at the Hermann Strandbar, which is very cool. It's just where I normally go for the Kasperl puppet shows with my daughters. But you had a meetup there, and people were able to buy beer using Lightning, which is awesome. I've tried to onboard other people in my life onto Lightning. It's been a bit more difficult. Not everybody can run Raspberry Pis and servers and use Linux and stuff like that. But the custodial apps online are getting better. So how do you kind of see Lightning integration for whether it be the 21Bitcoin experience or once people leave the platform to go elsewhere?
Yeah, we are actively working on our own Lightning integration since beginning of this year. So we basically had the proof of concept ready for the Bitcoin Prague conference in this summer. So we have it already ready. We could release it, but we are talking to our regulators in Austria to really make it ready also from a compliance and regulatory standpoint. But we are ready to implement it, and we think we also have a unique approach in providing Lightning services, because in the new app you don't have to struggle with different balances. You don't have to switch between on-chain and off-chain. You simply scan a invoice or a on-chain address, and the 21Bitcoin app will automatically pay that. So you will also have the option to add LN URLs or LN addresses, and really have a smooth experience using Bitcoin, not worrying about do I need to have channels open, do I need to balance my liquidity. We really want to make it as easy as possible for people to have their own keys and can use Bitcoin the way they want.
So on the roadmap, you have the ability to withdraw to LN addresses?
Yeah.
Wow, that's wild. That is a rare diamond when it comes to this stuff. We barely see integration of LN addresses, apart from Nostr and a couple of things. I know that there are some pools, like mining pools, that have talked about it. Some prefer to use things like Paynim, Bit47, but to use more LN addresses would be really interesting. And I'm always very big on the podcasting 2.0 train. I've pushed Nico a lot in that direction. I'm a huge proponent. Hopefully people are listening using something like Podverse or Fountain to be able to listen to this, and you can boost at any time. And I love that there's so much expansion of LN addresses, but it's always in a very particular area. It's with podcasting or with Nostr or something else. You're not seeing it across the entire ecosystem. I think it is because of the various issues with how you set these up, and essentially how you have to layer the different capacity, and you have to tell the wallet and invoice. I mean, I'm obviously not the tech guy on this, but it's exciting to know that you have something like that on the roadmap, because that means that you didn't just set up an app however many years ago and just set it on autopilot. You guys are also keeping up with the innovation that's happening in the broader Bitcoin ecosystem.
Yeah, so like all things we do, we want to make it really easy for the end user. So that's also our goal for the Lightning integration. And as I said, so it will be really, really easy to add your LN URL or LN address, and you can also stack right onto it. So there's practically no limit for sending out funds to your Lightning wallet. You don't have to manage anything and really have a nice user experience. And I think also from an end user experience, Lightning is pretty important, because it really makes Bitcoin instant, and for showing other people how this network works, Lightning is key, because it is really the aha moment when you send a transaction and instantly it pops up at the receiver.
So do you have a go-to sort of mobile Lightning wallet that you use, or you just kind of juggle between all of them?
Yeah, since we draw a lot of experience from other products, of course, I really use all of them. But I'm a big fan of Phoenix, and also for easy use. I know it's custodial, but Wallet of Satoshi, I think, just works. And that's also what we want to have for 21Bitcoin. It should work, and you shouldn't have any issues sending, buying, selling Bitcoin.
Yeah, Wallet of Satoshi is always a strange one. Like, no one knows who runs it. I don't think anybody has ever met anybody there. But they have offered a very good product for people to use. It's quick and easy, and very easy onboarding. I mean, I did reserve my LN address there, so I'm Yael at whatever Wallet of Satoshi. But you mentioned one thing earlier that we have to dive into, because you mentioned the tech, sort of the finance setup, bank accounts, but you have to deal a lot with sort of the legal and political side, because you have regulations on what you do. It's no secret that you have to try to figure out how to offer this legally in the whether it be the European system or the Austrian system. So what is that kind of interaction with regulators in terms of providing information? Are you having to check in every month with something? Was this like a huge burden, or have you guys kind of automated this in a way that you can focus more on building the product itself rather than, whatever, trying to talk to the government every now and then?
Yeah, so I guess it's a big part because we are in a space that is really new and innovative. So the regulators not or they don't know how to really handle it, and I think it's important to really bring facts to the table and to discuss these issues. And we are in regular meetings with the regulators, explaining how Lightning works, how the channel management works, how can you really compare it to financial products that are already available in the legacy financial markets, and to give them some insights. So I guess that's also a big part of our work. So we're really trying to push the limits. And we want to be on the forefront in Europe and in Austria to really have innovation here. So we have big players here like Bitpanda, Coinfinity, 21Bitcoin, and I think we have a good setup and are really pushing the limits there. And I'm hopeful that we can release our Lightning integration later this year. I think we've done a good job educating them, and really also can provide it in a way that's not privacy intrusive or hindering the innovation.
I give you kudos. I've done a little bit of Bitcoin education with legislators. Oftentimes it's been a bit difficult because they obviously heard the old tropes of the drug dealers, money laundering, all the worst stuff. But today, this is an actual important asset used by many people. And if you have the largest asset manager in the world, BlackRock, that's, tried to figure out a way to sell this on the open market, we're kind of a completely different age. For regulation on Lightning, that is one that I think has not really yet been handled. And we talked on Fix the Money with Brian Holman, who's an attorney, about MiCA, markets and crypto assets, this wondrous regulation from the European Union that deals with crypto assets and crypto brokers such as yourself. I know that there were some conversations about this, and there are a number of people, we'll say they're affiliated with the central coin companies. I won't name names, but they've often floated the idea of there needs to be additional regulation and taxation specifically on Lightning, which I'm very worried about that, because I think Lightning is still, in a way, an experiment that we're all messing with, trying to balance liquidity, using different apps, setting it up on Raspberry Pi or an app. We're still figuring this out, and already there are regulations on it. I'm not going to ask for your comment on that, but in terms of educating lawmakers, do they do they see this more from the side of innovation? Do they see it more as competition to traditional fiat system? Or do you think they were able to kind of set it in a box that made it a bit easier for them to understand?
I can only speak for our regulators and for our contact persons there. And what I can say is that they really have a good understanding of Bitcoin. So especially the on-chain stuff is really good understood by them. And yeah, like I said, we are in talks beginning of this year explaining Lightning, and I think we also have a common ground now, and they understand it. I'm aware of these issues that you have mentioned, but from an Austrian standpoint, I think we are pushing against it, and they also understand that this is something different, and if you really over-regulate it, you will kill the innovation. So I guess they're also like a bit cautious, because nobody really does it, so there's no definitive regulation for Lightning, but we see good progress, and we think that we can have good compromises which will drive the industry and also Lightning in Europe.
I love that you bring up the national regulators. They obviously have more of a connection to individuals, to companies, to firms. They're able to get a much deeper understanding. Yet a lot of the regulations and we'll say centralized affairs are kind of planned from our beautiful European capital, Brussels. So apart from that, we're looking into the future, positive stuff. There are a lot of things that are changing with Bitcoin. There are a lot of things that are, I mentioned before, sort of the ETF stuff. That is much more Nico's wheelhouse of general Bitcoin as a finance product that will be available. There are versions of ETFs that already exist in Europe. But, what are you most excited about? Because, we see some adoption, definitely with online use of Bitcoin. Now you're able to, and I do that all the time, paying for servers, buying T-shirts online. In person is a different story. It's getting better. We're kind of orange pilling one business at a time. That is a brick and mortar, as it were. But what are you kind of excited about? Is it more on the tech side? Is it adoption side? Where do you kind of see your biggest excitement about Bitcoin right now?
Honestly, I would say Lightning, because it's such a fascinating topic, and also the innovation happening there is so great and so fast. We see a lot of new improvements also from the depositing side. We are also looking at how can we integrate Lightning deposits in the future. So for the first version, we are going to offer Lightning withdrawals, but also this is something where we have a look, and the tech gets better by the day, and it's really fascinating how many people and how many really intelligent people are working on these issues, and making our life as a service provider or a brokerage easier as time progresses. And also I'm excited for Mika. So I think this will be difficult for us, but also we see it as a huge opportunity. So Mika will unify the whole European Union regulation for crypto asset service providers like us. So once we get the Mika license, we are really able to tackle the whole European market. So currently we are only focused on Austria and really do our marketing activities there. But once we have the legal and regulatory clarity that is useful for a company like 21Bitcoin, we can really expand our business and dive into other markets and really provide services around Europe.
Yeah, and I think from our past podcast conversation with Brian Holman, who's at Stadler Viertel, legal firm, he had mentioned that a lot of the focus of Mika is a lot on new listings of coins and stable coins, and in a way that you guys are kind of saved, because you're not going to, as far as I know, you're not going to be listing many other tokens or coins on your platform. You're staying to Bitcoin only. So in a way, it does help you, because yeah, the rules are being written, laid out, but in a way there is a clear path for Bitcoin. I've been very frustrated with the process. You know, it's politics. It's a lot of negotiating. It's a lot of things that normal, ordinary European citizens don't necessarily get a voice in. But I think you're right that the regulatory certainty is definitely a good thing. You know, when it comes to the other platforms, and you call them crypto casinos, do you see, you know, integrate? Do you see a lot of people coming over from some of these platforms? I don't know, in terms of referrals. And by the way, our code is Fix the Money for 21Bitcoin. 20% off all your fees. And you have a lot of people who were using things like Binance or were using things like Coinbase, and they've seen some of the issues, whether regulatory or accounts being shut down or restrictions, or just, you know, constant emails about some strange token and yield farming or something like that. Do you see people who are coming onto the platform who previously were on these others?
Yeah, definitely. So we see it really like if major news occur, really a lot of people are switching to services that only offer Bitcoin, and we see that in 21Bitcoin also. So we recently conducted some interviews with customers. I think we made like 15 interviews with customers that have been new or already are stacking a long time. So we try to have a diverse sample. And they are telling us, yeah, they almost all probably have started with a other service, but they're really intrigued by the SEPA on Binance. Maybe SEPA got shut down, or they heard some news that the SEC is suing like Coinbase or other crypto exchanges, and that's also I think where we can provide like a secure framework. We are regulated. We are based in Austria. We have a German bank account, so you don't have to send money abroad. We only focus on Bitcoin, which is a fundamental value, which we believe will help us in the future, like you mentioned, also from a regulatory standpoint, which makes it easier to comply with and to offer better services. And yeah, that's definitely something that we are seeing.
So you're now making your living from Bitcoin. You're a Bitcoin CEO, if that's right. So, you know, this was not imaginable 10 years ago to have entire firms, companies, businesses providing livelihoods for people connected to Bitcoin. So, you know, you kind of went into this, you're interested by the tech or some of the economic aspects of Bitcoin. You know, what is something that you wish you knew before you jumped into this whole thing? What's something that you think would have helped you before coming along this Bitcoin CEO journey, as it were?
Yeah, I guess I was a bit wishful thinking, so I thought, yeah, let's make a good product and let's make our users happy. But I didn't expect that it's really that effort from a legal perspective and also from a compliance perspective. So we had to do a lot like training and also getting the knowledge. And what we are seeing is that also like Bitcoin companies and crypto companies in general are getting more and more like financial companies, like banks. We have to adhere to the same laws or to similar laws, and also with Mika that will demand more like capital requirements, also more risk management, which is on the one side is good, I think, for the customers, because there are a lot of companies that we have seen that have had no good risk management or no good legal setup. So on the one side, it's really useful, I guess, but it's making our life not easier. So I would love to do more on the product side and develop new features than doing like legal stuff. But it is what it is, and I think we have a good base now and a good framework to really get this going in the coming years. And which we also see is there are a lot of Bitcoin services now, and the ecosystem is growing. Also, if you see in the United States with River, who had a massive Series B funding round, and also Swan Bitcoin. So these services are really growing, and I think in the long term, this will be the new financial players and will be the big companies in the future.
Yeah, it's been amazing to see River kind of do that, building all their own infrastructure and getting all the U.S. licenses. I know that was a very big deal. And, I've tried to write a couple of laws and rules and talk to legislators about making it easier for especially crypto exchanges, Bitcoin exchanges, and brokerages to get licenses across the U.S. states. It's a very difficult affair. It's a strange conundrum of the American experiment that is. It is decentralized in some aspects, incredibly centralized in others, and makes it a bit difficult. But one thing I'm also not worrying about, but Bitcoin as a social network is an idea that Nico talks a lot about, and I think a lot of people who come into this and perhaps they use your platform or they listen to this program or read our Substack, they think about Bitcoin a lot and they have Bitcoin on their mind, but perhaps they don't have Bitcoin around in their own IRL in real life. They might not have friends or family who are into it, so they're kind of online. Do you see that there's been an evolution in the Bitcoin social network? I mean, granted, you're about to go to the big BTC conference in Innsbruck, which is, I believe, the largest German speaking one in Deutschsprachigen Raum. But do you see the Bitcoin social network evolving? I know that you've been to a lot of conferences. I saw you in Prague, which was awesome. But do you see that's also growing, or do you think there's kind of a silent stacking majority that's out there that doesn't even know that there's a social network out there?
I guess what I'm experiencing is in the German speaking region. There are a lot of these 21 meetups, so like local community groups in every major city, which have regular meetings, and we have one in Salzburg, for example, which is really growing a lot. So I remember 2 years ago, I think I visited the first meeting there in Salzburg, and we were like 7 people, and now the group is like 40 or 50 people. And that's also what I'm hearing from other cities as well. So I know in Vienna the 21 group is pretty active, and we've been there also. So I think for the German-speaking market, there's extremely high growth in these social networks. Yeah.
Yeah, the Vienna one is just a bit hard for dads and people with kids, because it's always like a Tuesday night or something like this. It makes it a bit difficult. But yeah, that's been definitely cool to see it, especially with the conferences. You're able to bring a lot of people who, normally you would never get to meet or see, and probably come from incredibly different backgrounds. I think that's the most important thing, because I remember in the very beginning, at least when I was in, it was me and all the other libertarians who happened to, also like technology, and we were into this for Austrian economics, the old Nationalschule, and we were very into the ideas that powered Bitcoin. But now it's kind of being opened up. Sort of in your conversation with new customers or people that you've met, what is bringing people to Bitcoin now? Is it a lot of concern about the economic situation? We still have very high inflation in Austria. Energy inflation is not going away. Believe me, I just paid my energy bills. But, are people coming into it because of sort of the financial situations? Is it still the technologies, the philosophy? What are you kind of seeing from your recent interactions of why people are coming in?
Yeah, definitely. So inflation, I think, is the biggest driver. So we have a lot of people, they're coming to our platform and are not like full Bitcoiners yet. So they tip their toe and try to diversify their portfolio a bit, and are looking for a trusted, secure platform to really step into Bitcoin. And our goal is to really educate them on this journey. And what we are seeing is that people that learn about it are really investing a lot more, and this is also like a progress which we are seeing. But the financial aspect, I think, is the greatest part which we are experiencing. And yeah, we also are we also have like a lot of customers that are, I would say, a bit older. So not the youngest guys, like 18 or 20 years old. So like really 60, 70. We have customers who are 80 plus, and yeah, they also have money, and they want to try like what it is, how Bitcoin is like handled, and we are happy to support them, like setting up their Bitbox or their hardware wallets. And yeah, that's a trend that we are seeing. So that really like boomers and Gen X are diving into Bitcoin.
Oh boy, Daniel, 21Bitcoin and boomers. That's a great new. I think that is really interesting, specifically with a lot of the Central European history around gold. Obviously, gold was for a long time, and it has been in the German-speaking areas, and the people who know a little bit about inflation, sort of their go-to asset. But Bitcoin is something very new, and it has all the same properties and even better properties. Digital, being able to send it. So Daniel, it's been a great conversation. I know you've got a lot of building and talking to legislators that you need to do. But yeah, what are your final insights, things that you're kind of working on that you want the listeners to know about, and anything else I didn't ask you? Because obviously I led some of the conversation on the stuff I'm interested in, but I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to get out there.
Yeah, maybe something about the macroeconomic situation and also the fundraising. So we are in the midst of raising our Series A fundraising, and I think we will have some news in the coming weeks, which is pretty exciting, which will be a major step, I think, for a Bitcoin company in Europe. I think we have an institutional investor as our lead investor, which we will have a strategic partnership, which has never been there before in Europe. I guess also globally, I would think. So this will be big for the whole industry. And we are building 24/7 and hope to bring Bitcoin to more people in the coming years.
Wow. Okay. Well, Series A, institutional investors, big times ahead. That sounds incredibly exciting and a good vote of confidence in what you're doing and in Bitcoin itself. So, man, wish you the best of luck. We've been speaking with Daniel Winklhammer, co-founder and CEO of 21Bitcoin. Be sure to use that promo code Fix the Money. But Daniel, thanks so much for coming on the program, and hope to see you again soon. I don't know if I won't be in Innsbruck, but I'll try to make it to one of these events, and who knows, might have to take the train and head on over to Salzburg soon.
Yeah, nice talking to you.
All right, talk to you soon. For more content, articles, and podcasts like this, go to fixthemoney.net.